just half an hour, we're premiering a new documentary called The Dream Is Now, which tells stories of undocumented youth whose future hinges on the immigration bill being debated in the Senate this week. Many of these young people attend schools and have excelled, but with a secret that, if exposed, could turn their lives upside down. For more on that, here's Maria Teresa Kumar, an MSNBC contributor and president of Voto Latino, in her own words.
What we're talking about is 11 million individuals living within our borders that are doing the work of an underground economy that we know exists. Most folks don't realize that these individuals pay billions of dollars already into our economy, whether it's Social Security, whether it's state or federal taxes. But let's make sure that they do it in a common sense way so that we are benefiting from their labor. These 11 million undocumented individuals are not just Latino, but they are Afro-Caribbean, they are Asian, they are Russian, they are Irish. They're individuals that reflect our very fiber. When you talk to the majority of Americans, they actually believe in a pathway to citizenship. How can we get Washington to pay attention to the rest of where us Americans are? We need to make sure that we're making phone calls to our legislators. We need to make sure that we're talking to our community leaders. And if undocumented workers are considered illegal, if they're breaking laws, they're considered criminals, then that means that each one of us as Americans are accomplices in that underground economy. We're accomplices because if we get our nails done today, we go to the dry cleaner and pick up our dry cleaning, if someone is taking care of our children, or even if we go to a grocery store and buy tonight's dinner, someone picked those groceries for us. And those individuals, more than likely, were undocumented. We are talking about individuals that have lived in our community for more than 10 years. Individuals that work for us, that work with us, that are part of our parishes, part of our community, and many are even members of our family. And the only way that we can establish that we're talking about a cohesive America is to ensure that they can come out of the shadows.
A new documentary, The Dream Is Now, tells a story of immigration reform through the eyes of dreamers, young people who were brought here as children by their families as undocumented immigrants. The Immigration Policy Center estimates there are at least 1.4 million undocumented immigrants who could benefit from current law around so-called dreamers. Most, 1.1 million, are from the Americas. About 110,000 are from Asia, and about 28,000 are from Europe. Let's bring in our panel. Steve Lee is undocumented, brought here by his parents illegally. Alina Cortez is an undocumented student. She was brought here by her mother when she was a child. Patrick Punch is from Ireland. He is in this country legally, but his daughter Allison remains undocumented at the moment. And founder of Define American and Pulitzer Prize winner Jose Antonio Vargas also here with us. He is an undocumented immigrant as well. Steve, start with you. Let's start with the issue of you were taken into custody back in 2010, as your story is. You're still here, yes. But your parents have been deported to China. When you think about this, what was that like? What are your hopes now for the future?
It was definitely difficult because I was actually born in Lima, Peru, with Chinese descendant parents. So it was difficult that we were going to be deported to two different places, and our family is definitely broken. And my hopes of this new immigration bill is that we really respect the fundamental rights of all families to be together and to be reunited. Unfortunately for myself, my parents were deported, and I'm now going to graduate from UC Davis next year, but I won't see my parents during my graduation.
Alina, tough story there for Steve. Also for you, you say you're in the video, actually, Dream Is Now. You're on their website, and on the website you say that you're a conservative Republican. When you sort of put that part of you together with the part of being undocumented, how do the politics mix in here? What comes out bubbling at the top?
I get a lot of questions about how is this even possible that you can be a dreamer and a Republican. It's easy. I was raised a conservative Republican. Mm-hmm. I'm from Mexico City. I was raised in Texas all my life as a Christian, and I think there's certain human values that are in this bill that are long due. We need to. I think it's very important to, like I said, mm-hmm. a nation of Christians, to show our Christian side and to be human.
Does this leave you very confused, if you will, Alina, about the political discussion that we've been watching so carefully in Washington, D.C., and what you may want from it?
No, I'm not at all confused. I think maybe people think that about me, but I know exactly what my morals are. I was not only raised with them, but now that I'm an adult, I can tell you that those are my personal views, and I'm not at all confused. I believe this is a human issue that a lot of conservative people care about. Again, it's very human of this. This bill is very human, and it involves very human rights, basic rights.
Great point there, Alina. And Patrick, you became a legal resident, but your daughter Allison, who's in her 20s, still waiting to get through the bureaucracy and the process. And I know that for you and your daughter, this is a very emotional discussion. What we're talking about with the immigration reform bill, even talking about it.
Yeah, it is. It's a very hard subject to talk about because, to where we are, I mean, I've been legal and my wife and my daughter has been undocumented, and, it's been very, very difficult and hard for her to, to go through life here with no papers. This new bill that came out from President Obama was a godsend to us and for Alison. But as you said, we're still going through the motions of getting our stuff organised, and it's a very difficult process. And with the new immigration policies coming up, we're all excited, and hopefully things will be go through pretty smoothly for everybody.
I know you talked with your daughter before you came over to our studio today. What was she saying to you that, hey, please say this, Dad?
Yeah, she's saying like everybody else. We want to get this. We want to get on with our lives. When she graduated high school, that was it. She couldn't go to college. She couldn't get a driving license. She couldn't do anything. So, all she's saying is she wants all these things now, and for everybody else to to follow suit. And she's excited about getting it done, and we are as well. And as I said, it's been a long process, and it's been hard for us and for her. And as I say, hopefully we have some light at the end of the tunnel.
Jose, pipe in here. You've spoken with groups like these for many years now. Your organization, Define American, focuses on that very question. What is American? You look at the potential details coming out on the bill. You look at the DREAM Act. What sorts of elements from the DREAM Act do you see in this new reform bill? And is it enough to satisfy both sides here?
Well, I think for many people, Republicans and Democrats, the DREAM Act seemed to be, everybody's on the same page that we need to provide a path to legalization and citizenship to people like me, who have been here since I was 12, went to school here, paid taxes here, worked here. This is my home. I think the biggest question now is how inclusive is this bill really going to be? Who's going to get left out? Immigration is an incredibly complex topic that is not purely defined by the U.S.-Mexico border. And yet, all the conversation in the past few days now talking about this bill, it's almost as if everything about immigration is tied to the U.S.-Mexico border. When 40%, for example, of the undocumented population in America actually overstayed their visa. 40% of people in the country without papers who are here illegally overstayed their visa, meaning they didn't cross a border. So I think it's important for us to kind of embrace the complexity and try to come up with a solution that, yes, it's important that we secure our border, but we have to have bigger conversations than just the border. Bigger conversations and small ones too. As we have these discussions with dreamers, so-called dreamers here, Jose, which you've done a lot of, and the couple that I've been a part of, the amount of emotion, the decisions being made by everyday teenagers and young adults, so it's tough. And let me move this over to Steve. So Steve, for you, what was that? You were forced to come out. It wasn't a decision, at least at that point in 2010, where you said, I'm going to come out as a dreamer, where Jose did. He came out and said, I am a dreamer. Talk about that, Steve.
Well, up to that point, I did not know what my immigration status was. I came here when I was 10 years old. I graduated from Francisco Middle School and George Washington High School in San Francisco. I went to City College of San Francisco, which I know you're an alumni from.
Go Rams.
And then yes, go Rams. And then I just suddenly, on September 15, 2010, when my house was raided, and myself and my parents were put into a detention center. That's when I finally knew about my immigration status.
What was your reaction, though? When you got arrested here, Steve, it's just like pulled out of nowhere. Were you completely perplexed?
I was perplexed, surprised, shocked. I definitely not know what to think. I thought it was a joke, but reality
And it wasn't.
really set in, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was real, and this can happen to anyone, and any family can be torn apart in just a matter of seconds, just by that loud knock on the door. And this is a reality of many dreamers, not only for myself, but for my friends, and the people that you're going to see in the documentary as well.
Alina, you know, one of the reported provisions of this new legislation that we've been talking about on this Sunday is that anyone crossing illegally into the United States after 2011 would be deported. What's your perspective on this? Is that fair?
I do think it's fair. Like I said, while it's a human issue, I think there sometimes just need to be a cap. And am I completely satisfied with it? Not necessarily. I haven't read it, obviously, so I don't know. I can't speak on it. But I think as long as it's a pathway, as long as it's a first step, and we're all on the same page, I think we can be happy with it if we work well with it.
Another element of this, Patrick, the bill expected to have a heavy focus on work skills. More opportunities perhaps would be based on that very issue. You own a business at the moment. Now, the focus on work skills means that there may not be as much focus on family ties. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think you know, they're talking about work skills, but I mean, a lot of the students, like my daughter and many other students like her, are actually you know, very well educated with computers, and they work a lot with computers. So I mean, I think there's a big avenue there for young students to you know, to excel in the United States with computer work. And you know, again, my daughter, like she was like held up because of being undocumented and getting to colleges and stuff like that. But now, because of this, I think it'll open up a whole variety of stuff for her to do, and you know, go on to go to school and you know, get her proper education that she wants.
Jose, I want you to finish this up, but if we could look at all three of our dreamer families or dreamers for a second. You know, we've got Steve, we've got Alina, we also have Patrick and his daughter. When you look at all three of them side by side here, Jose, and as we look at what's going to be happening this week, what is it that we might learn as the debate goes on, as these amendments start to be added on to the bill that is going to be presented, excuse me?
I mean, I think the main message here is how integrated, you know, undocumented people are of all skills, of all backgrounds, to American culture and to American economy, right? I mean, I belong in what's called a mixed status family. So there are 17 million households in America where at least one person is undocumented. Out of my 25 Filipino American cousins and grandmothers and aunts, I'm the only one who's undocumented. I mean, that's the reality of immigration in America. And I think for us, as this debate, I mean, you know, I look forward to really reading the bill. Apparently, it's going to be 1,500 pages. So
yes, that's right.
It's going to be very heavy.
Get your eyeglasses out.
The devil is going to be in the details. And the question for us is, who are we leaving out and why? Are we making sure that we're having as big and as complex of a conversation as possible, so that 5-10 years from now, we're not going to have the same exact conversation that we're having right now about the U.S.-Mexico border or about immigration, you know, immigration policy. And again, for us at Define American, how do you define American? I mean, to me, that's kind of at the heart of immigration bill, about who we want to be and what our future is going to look like economically and culturally.
That's the latest chapter in 150 years of immigration reform here in the United States. Steve Lee, Alina Cortez, and Patrick Punch. Thank you all three, regardless of what side of the aisle anybody's watching this, for you coming forward to talk with us today. Jose, we're going to be talking with you in the next hour, later in the program after the movie. Thank you all for